South Korea, a nation that transformed from the ashes of war into a global cultural and technological superpower in just 2 generations. This is a country where 5,000-year-old temples share the skyline with futuristic skyscrapers, where ancient Confucian traditions dance alongside the world's most popular music, and where a humble bowl of kimchi tells the story of an entire civilization. From devastating poverty in the 1950s to the world's 10th largest economy today, South Korea's journey is nothing short of miraculous. In the next 12 minutes, you'll discover how this small peninsula nation became one of the most dynamic and influential countries on Earth. Welcome to South Korea. South Korea occupies the southern half of the Korean peninsula, bordered by North Korea to the north, the Yellow Sea to the west, the East Sea to the east, and the Korea Strait to the south. Despite its compact size, roughly the same area as Portugal or the U.S. state of Indiana, the country packs extraordinary geographic diversity into its borders. About 70% of South Korea is mountainous, with the Taebaek Range running like a spine down the eastern coast. These mountains have shaped everything from agriculture to urban development, forcing cities to cluster along the narrow coastal plains and river valleys. The country boasts over 2,400 kilometers of coastline, featuring everything from dramatic cliffs on the east coast to vast tidal flats on the west. Off the southern coast lies Jeju Island, a volcanic paradise formed over 2 million years ago, home to Hallasan, South Korea's highest peak at nearly 2,000 meters. The capital Seoul sits in the northwest, a megacity of nearly 10 million people, with the wider metropolitan area housing over 25 million, roughly half the country's population. This concentration makes Seoul one of the most densely populated urban regions on the planet. Summers bring monsoon rains and humidity, while winters deliver dry cold and occasional snow, creating 4 distinct seasons that have deeply influenced Korean culture and cuisine for millennia. South Korea's history stretches back over 5,000 years, beginning with the legendary founding of Gojoseon in 2333 BCE. The Korean peninsula has been home to powerful kingdoms, Goguryeo, Beech, and Silla, whose rivalries and achievements shaped the Korean identity. The Silla kingdom unified the peninsula in 668 CE, ushering in a golden age of art, Buddhism, and architecture that produced treasures like the Bulguksa Temple and the Sukaguram Grotto, both UNESCO World Heritage Sites today. The Goryeo dynasty, from which the name Korea derives, gave the world its name, and the Tripitaka Koreana, over 80,000 wooden printing blocks of Buddhist scripture carved in the 13th century, still preserved at Heinsa Temple. The Joseon dynasty, lasting over 5 centuries from 1392 to 1910, established Neo-Confucianism as the state ideology, created the Korean alphabet Hangul under King Sejong, and built magnificent palaces like Gyeongbokgung in the heart of Seoul. The 20th century brought immense hardship, 35 years of Japanese colonial rule, followed by the devastating Korean War of 1950 to 1953 that divided the peninsula and left the south in ruins. The city of Seoul changed hands 4 times during that war. What followed is nothing short of a miracle. Through sheer determination, strategic industrial policy, and an extraordinary emphasis on education, South Korea rebuilt itself from one of the world's poorest nations into an economic powerhouse, a transformation known as the Miracle on the Han River. South Korean culture is a fascinating blend of deeply rooted traditions and breathtaking modernity. At its foundation lies a Confucian value system that emphasizes respect for elders, filial piety, and social harmony, principles you can still observe in everyday interactions, from the two-handed pour when serving drinks to the bow that accompanies every greeting. The traditional Hanbok, with its vibrant colors and elegant flowing lines, remains worn during festivals and weddings, connecting modern Koreans to their ancestral heritage. But South Korea's cultural influence now extends far beyond its borders. The Korean wave, or Hallyu, began in the late 1990s with television dramas and has since exploded into a global phenomenon. K-pop groups like BTS and Blackpink sell out stadiums worldwide, while Korean films and series, including the Oscar-winning film Parasite and the Netflix sensation Squid Game, have captivated international audiences with their unique storytelling. Korean beauty products and skincare routines have revolutionized the global cosmetics industry, introducing concepts like the 10-step routine and glass skin to millions. This cultural export is no accident. The South Korean government has strategically invested billions in cultural industries, recognizing soft power as a vital economic and diplomatic asset. The story of South Korea's economy is one of the most remarkable transformations in modern history. In 1960, South Korea's per capita income was lower than that of many African nations. Today, it stands as the world's 10th largest economy and a member of the $1 trillion club. This miracle was driven by the chaebol system, large family-owned conglomerates like Samsung, Hyundai, LG, and SK Group that the government nurtured with favorable policies and access to capital. Samsung alone accounts for roughly 20% of South Korea's GDP, producing everything from semiconductors and smartphones to ships and life insurance. South Korea is the world's largest producer of memory chips, controlling over 60% of the global market. The semiconductors in your phone or computer were almost certainly made in Korea. The country also leads in shipbuilding, automobile manufacturing, and steel production. Hyundai's Ulsan plant is the world's largest automobile manufacturing facility, capable of producing over 1.5 million vehicles per year. But beyond heavy industry, South Korea has emerged as a leader in innovation and technology. It has the world's fastest average internet speeds and the highest smartphone penetration rate. The government's ambitious digital infrastructure investments have made South Korea one of the most connected societies on Earth, with free public Wi-Fi available in virtually every urban area. No exploration of South Korea is complete without its food, a cuisine that transforms simple ingredients into complex, layered flavors through ancient preservation techniques. At the heart of every Korean meal is kimchi, fermented vegetables, most commonly napa cabbage and Korean radish, seasoned with chili pepper, garlic, ginger, and salted seafood. There are over 200 documented varieties of kimchi, each household and region having its own prized recipe. The fermentation process not only preserves the vegetables through harsh winters but also creates beneficial probiotics that have made kimchi a global health food. Korean barbecue, or gogi-gue, is a social experience as much as a meal. Thin slices of marinated beef or pork belly grilled right at your table, wrapped in lettuce leaves with garlic and a dab of savory soybean paste. Bibimbap, meaning mixed rice, is a colorful bowl of steamed rice topped with sautéed vegetables, a fried egg, and gochujang chili paste that you stir together before eating. Korean street food culture is equally vibrant, from tteokbokki, chewy rice cakes in a sweet and spicy sauce, to hotteok, crispy pancakes filled with brown sugar and nuts, sold by vendors in markets like Myeongdong and Gwangjang. And then there is the ritual of Banchan, the array of small side dishes that accompany every Korean meal, ensuring that every bite offers a different combination of flavors and textures. South Korea's landmarks tell the story of a nation that honors its past while boldly embracing its future. In Seoul, the 5 grand palaces of the Joseon dynasty, Gyeongbokgung, Changdeokgung, Changgyeonggung, Deoksugung, and Gyeongwon are architectural masterpieces set against a backdrop of glass skyscrapers. Gyeongbokgung, the largest and most iconic, was first built in 1395 and features the stunning Gyeonghoru Pavilion, a raised hall surrounded by a lotus pond where kings once hosted banquets. The Banchan Hanok village, nestled between the palaces, preserves hundreds of traditional Korean houses with their distinctive curved tile roofs and wooden beams, offering a glimpse into Seoul's pre-modern urban fabric. Seoul Tower, perched atop Namsan Mountain at nearly 480 meters above sea level, provides a 360-degree panorama of the sprawling metropolis below. Beyond the capital, the ancient city of Gyeongju, often called the Museum Without Walls, contains more tombs, temples, and artifacts from the Silla dynasty than anywhere else in the country. The Sukagoram Grotto, an 8th-century artificial cave temple, houses a monumental Buddha statue considered one of the finest examples of Buddhist art in East Asia. On Jeju Island, the Haenyeo, female free divers, many in their 60s and 70s, continue a centuries-old tradition of harvesting seafood from the ocean floor without breathing apparatus, holding their breath for up to 2 minutes at depths of 20 meters. So why should South Korea be on your travel list? Because few places on Earth offer such a complete sensory journey. You can start your morning exploring a 1,000-year-old Buddhist temple in the mountains, have lunch at a bustling street market eating food your ancestors couldn't have imagined, spend your afternoon in a futuristic district where every surface is a screen and robots serve your coffee, and end your evening in a traditional jjimjilbang, a Korean bathhouse soaking in hot mineral pools alongside 3 generations of a Korean family. South Korea is a country of 4 distinct seasons, each offering entirely different experiences: cherry blossom festivals in spring, beach culture on Busan's Haeundae coast in summer, spectacular autumn foliage in the national parks, and skiing in the mountainous Gangwon province in winter. The country is remarkably safe, with low crime rates and some of the most efficient public transportation in the world. The KTX high-speed train connects Seoul to Busan, a distance of over 400 kilometers, in just 2.5 hours. And the Korean people, once you get past the initial reserve,